welcome to the Strong Opinion Hibs podcast. This is episode number 4. I'm your host, Calvin, and today, as usual, I'm joined by my co-host and my good mate, Charlie. Today on the show, we've got fellow Hibee and fellow Gallifreydine supporter, Darren Phil Thomson. Player as well. How you doing, boys?
Good.
Good. Darren, you were had a wee incident last week. You were in hospital, but you want to tell us a wee bit about it? We're glad that you're fully recovered and you're able to join the podcast. I thought you were just trying to dodge us.
No, not at all. So I went in with a sore stomach last Wednesday. They said that they'll keep me in overnight just for observations. Thursday came, they were like, no, we'll keep you in another night. And then another night, and then Friday came in and we'll keep you in until Monday. Monday came, now you're in until Wednesday. So that's been a week. But to be fair, I had all good looking nurses.
You're trying to make yourself stay in, weren't you? Some boy. But no, we're delighted that you're out, mate, and you're feeling a lot better. That's great news to us, and I know a lot of the listeners listening in that as well. So a lot of people are wishing you well on Twitter and things like that. So we're delighted that you're feeling a lot better, mate.
Thanks.
No worries, mate. Darren, we're just going to ask you a wee bit. A lot of people will know you from your YouTube channel, mate. You've got over 1,000 subscribers on that. Do you want to tell us a wee bit just about how you got started with that? What made you want to get into doing the YouTube videos?
Right, well, obviously before my stroke, I wanted to do YouTube, but I thought no one's going to listen to my voice or even watch me. And then I thought, come on, I'll start my channel. So I believe I started that on the 29th of March, 2018. Uploaded a few not so good videos when I used to go to Hibs games. And then 2019, I started doing match reactions, and then I interviewed the old secretary at Gallifreydine, sent off to someone at Hibs to see if I could interview Louis, and then obviously I got the chance to do Louis, and I invited obviously Stephen to come do it with me. And then obviously I got the chance to do Darren McGregor, and from there, and obviously then we hit pandemic, and I would say in a strange, weird way, I've managed to get players or people in and around football to interview who I wouldn't necessarily have done. And the reason that I wanted to do my YouTube channel is to realise that there's a lot of, I want to say stigma, if that's the word I want to use, that everyone's, ripped and everything like that. So everything that you really see on TV, most of that's not, it's mainly fake and not realistic. So the reason I wanted to do an interview is one, I didn't even do a degree in journalism. I've had no background experience. I've done, obviously, about 31 interviews. But it's to also put out there that people only see players play either at weekends or in midweek. But at the end of the day, they are just the same as the rest of us, just normal people that have a job that obviously football related. I mean, what more can you ask? They've all been brilliant to me in some way, shape or form.
Brilliant, mate. That's really good. Just a quick question relating to your YouTube channel, mate. What would you say has been your top 3 interviews? Top 3 you've enjoyed the most?
Top 3.
I liked your Ian Black one. I thought that was really good.
Aye, that was good.
Right, so so obviously Louis is up there, but apart from Louis, I'm going to have to say the Cy Ferry one.
Aye, that was good.
the Ian Crocker one, and the Jonathan Sutherland.
Cool.
Aye, they're all good couple of ones there, mate.
Aye, you've talked to some really big names, mate. Right, let's get into the talking about Hibs, mate. Charlie's going to ask you some quick fire questions just to get to know you a little bit about you and your sort of thoughts on Hibs, all right? So I'll hand it over to Charlie.
Aye, Darren, so who got you into Hibs?
My dad.
Your dad. Did you go to the games with him when you were younger, or was it just...
Well, I'm actually named after Darren Jackson.
All right.
So my dad said to my dad, obviously my mother,
yeah,
whoever scored first in the Hibs Celtic game, I'll be named after.
Right.
And obviously Darren Jackson scored. My first football game that I went to was Hibs against Arbroath, and I believe it could have been a cup game.
That sounds right.
In 2000, I believe.
Aye, that's cool, mate.
It was when Daniel Anderson was the goalkeeper.
Oh, wow, that's good. That's going back now. Wow.
That would have been, what, 2003?
About that, aye.
About that, aye.
Aye. So, Darren, you've mentioned him a lot. My next question is, who's your favourite player of all time? My guess would it be is Lewis Stevenson, am I right?
Oh, you're correct, mate.
Aye. He's been a good player for Hibs, hasn't he?
He has indeed.
So next one, Darren, what's been the best away day you've been to?
Best away day? I've not actually been to many away days.
Right.
But I would have to be... I'm going to say the Scottish Cup final against Celtic in 2013, was it?
Aye.
Right.
Obviously we got beat, but
Aye, good to see now, was it?
That would have stuck out.
Aye, that was a good one. Albeit we got beat, but I remember we outsang them that day, didn't we?
Certainly did, yeah.
Aye.
Can you remember? I remember watching. I was actually right behind the goal. And I think it was Owen Doyle had a header when like it must have been the first 5 minutes, and it almost went in, and I was like, oh my god, that's happening, it's happening. That. I was so nervous, when we actually got a shot on target. I was like, I just can't believe this might happen.
Aye, we came out the traps well that day, but Celtic scored and then we fell apart.
Stokes as well. Stokes scored against us, did you know?
I think he did, mate. Aye.
Yeah.
I think it was him and Hooper.
Aye. So last question for you. Oh, go on.
Hooper scored 2 identical goals.
Aye, headers were they not?
2 headers, aye.
Trying to erase it from my memory, so I'm not too sure.
And in the exact same position, was it? No.
Aye, pretty much.
Wasn't far off it, mate.
Pretty much. Aye. So last question for you, Darren, before we move on to the review of the Ross County game. It's the same one I asked Stephen last week. Who would be your 3 realistic signings this summer for Hibs?
Okay. I'll try and get Griffiths.
Aye, I would too.
Mainly, I think we need a holding midfielder. Just try to think who we could. And we need, as we all know, Marciano is obviously going to be leaving us. So I'll try and get another goalkeeper.
Aye, because Macy leaves at the end of the season as well, eh? So
exactly. So it's like we need a keeper, and I would try and get Griffiths back home where he belongs.
Aye, I'd agree with that. So we'll move on to the review of the Ross County game. Calvin, I predicted 2-0 Ross County, and you predicted 1-0 Hibs. So
aye. The boys both wrong again.
But I predicted 2-0 County because I predicted us to win the week before. So obviously buzzing that we won at the weekend. And Stephen was our good luck charm. So hopefully Darren makes it 2-2 this weekend.
Exactly. That's right, Darren. This is our 4th podcast we're putting out. So the 2 before, the first 2 we lost, and last week we won. So it's 2-1 now. But hopefully you can make it 2-2.
Hope so.
Yeah, well.
I like the confidence, mate. I like it.
So if you were to sum the game up in one word, how would you sum it up?
I'd say relief. Just relieved, mate. Glad they managed to win and get the 3 points, so it's not too nervy going into the split. I mean, didn't get me wrong, I'm still nervous about it, but I'm just delighted that, you know, there's a bit of breathing space between us and Aberdeen.
Aye.
So I'd say relieved, aye.
Darren, how would you describe it?
Obviously, I never watched or listened to it.
Aye.
But I'm going to say we chanced our luck.
Right?
Aye. I think, aye. Some people could say that.
Because looking at the penalty incident...
That's a Stonewaller.
That's a Stonewaller.
No, but you know where I'm coming from, though.
Aye, 100%, mate. I think it was a dive.
I think it was soft. I think if I was to describe it, I'd just say yes. Like, it's good to it's finally good to have a podcast where we've won, Calvin, eh? Like,
I think that I don't know what to do with myself. I was coming on here and try to, I don't know. It seems like everything we've said in the last couple of weeks has been a load of rubbish. Now
I know.
No,
so
it's been. I'll take it. I'm just delighted, man. Delighted that they managed to win, and as I said, put a wee bit of distance between us and Aberdeen. So it's been good.
What do we think changed at the weekend? Because obviously we went in the week before and we didn't look very great against St Johnstone, and we had a bit grit about us last weekend. Sorry. So what do we think changed?
Mentality.
It's a good way to describe it. Aye.
What do you think about the mentality, Darren? Do you think it was the fact that they maybe know what that third position is in line, that Aberdeen keep on slipping up, or do you just think the players have become a wee bit more hungry now that the sort of the internationals and stuff's coming around as well?
Must be a lot more hungrier. I mean, they know that Aberdeen are slipping up, but also they know that we can't slip up.
Aye.
Because realistically, one slip up for us could cost us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aye, that's a good point.
It's fortunate that when we've not played at the best, or we've drew, or we maybe scraped the win, on the other hand, Aberdeen's lost.
We've not been able to capitalise on it a lot, so it's been really good that we've managed to do that. What I think went right was, I think that took our chances, and I think people stepped up when we needed it. I think Boyle had actually got a really good game. There's a few times he was touch and go for a few offsides, but he was in behind and he looked hungry, he looked on the ball. I thought Deutsch had a good game. I thought Deutsch held the ball up well, and that seems to be more of his game. You know, he sort of seems to do a lot of dirty work for the team, but maybe not put the ball in the back of the net as much. And I think what really changed was, like I said last week, you know, they kind of just needed, I said about Deutsch, I feel like Deutsch just needs a goal to get up and running, but I feel like the team just hit a wee bit of a dip, and they just needed a win to sort of get, you know, kickstart the season again and get back to winning ways, because I thought you could see it when Nisbet scored. You know, he was running away and he was screaming, like he was so happy that he'd managed to score again. And I think just sort of getting back into the swing of things for a lot of them, I think they just sort of, I don't know, just sort of took their foot off the gas a wee bit. But I think that was really good. And I think I was quite pleased with some of the subs that Jack Ross had made as well. I liked that, you know, it was sort of 70th getting late into the game, and he took Cadden off and put McGregor on. Aye. And I just thought that's exactly what's needed. Like, it's not about playing pretty all the time. It's like, let's make sure we win this game, like staying the games out, because McInnes was famous for doing that. You know, taking off a striker 70, 80 minutes in and putting on another centre-back and just trying to kill the game and sweep it up. So I think that was really good. I liked seeing things like that just to get us over the line, because that was a must-win game. I felt so
massive. And I think, like you say, mate, I think Nisbet just needed a goal. That's what we've been saying the past couple of weeks. I think this is good to see him get back on the score, and you know, he was in the right place at the right time, some people might say, but he's still got to show that, you know, desire to win the ball and put it in the net. So I think I agree with everything you have said. Massive win.
Aye.
And to top that, it was the first time we've came from behind in the league to win.
Aye, that was. What did you think on that, Darren, when you seen that County had scored to go 1-0 up? What did you think?
I was thinking, is it going to be one of the
Aye.
30 games? Are we going to be in it for the full 90, or are we going to slip away? But no, I think obviously when County went 1-0 up, we sort of put our heads up and really thought, no, we're not going to get beat here.
Aye.
And I mean, they must know that third place is in sight now, surely.
Yeah.
And we just need to hopefully win on Saturday against a very strong Livingston side.
Aye.
As we all know, they can. I don't think they've hit the form that they were on, but they can turn up at any point, and we need to really be. I think we need to get them right from kickoff.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I think that's where Livingston struggle, maybe.
Right.
Is when teams are fully on them for that full 90 minutes.
Well, you saw that last time we were there. We beat them 4-1, like we just battered them all game.
That was right. I think one of the things from the County game, just a wee bit before we got into the Livy game, I think you're right though, but I think, as I was saying, one of the things was it seemed like a real togetherness in the squad, and it seemed like it was strange because last week, Darren, I don't know if you listened, but we questioned the team in terms of having a bit of fight and a bit of backbone about them, and we were trying to work out, who is it that, if things aren't going right, actually takes charge of the team.
Yeah.
Who is it that's doing the shouting and acting like, the captain, and who does this really hurt that they're not picking up these valuable points like away to St Johnstone and things like that, games that we think we should be winning. And I was listening to Nisbet's interview for the Scotland call-up, and, he said when he got the call-up and that, he all the guys were in the canteen. He said, and when he went out, Martin and Boyle started banging on the table and making loads of noise, and the whole team were cheering and that. So it was good to see that there's a real togetherness there for them.
Aye.
And I think that showed on the pitch on Saturday as well. I think the boys were fighting for each other, and I think one person that I think stepped up massively is young Josh Doig. I just think he looks so confident on the ball, and he looks like he's almost a wee bit like Tierney. Do you know how he gets forward and he puts like a really decent ball in, and he seems to be, although he's young, one of the main sort of characters in the team, or one of the main sort of driving forces as well. So
definitely.
I just think that there was a real togetherness on Saturday. What do you think of this? Here's a question for you. Do you think we played really, really well, or do you think we played a bad County team?
To be fair, I don't think we played a bad St Johnstone team. County team.
Aye.
Because as we are well all in all, we know John Hughes, we know what he's like.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
He would want to come out and obviously try and win the game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that we had more fighting passion than we did last week.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other week, should I say?
I agree, Darren. I think we played really well. And somebody that I was just about to say there that really impressed me on Saturday was Ryan Porteous. I think I've not been very vocal in how frustrated I've been with him this season, but I just think he properly grabbed that game at 1-0 and even at 1-1, and he was just putting everything on the line for that ball. And I think that's really what I was getting at with Hanlon. I think Porteous understands it, and I think Porteous is one who would sacrifice a red card to make sure the team wins. So I was really impressed with him, and I think we played really well on Saturday, especially showing that bit of fight to get back for 1-0 to win.
Mm-hmm. No, I think when County scored that goal, I just thought, surely no. Like, no, again, it's not going to be another case of, going into the split, maybe only just 3 points above Aberdeen. It's like that's not good enough because, we've got to play Aberdeen, and it would have been a lot tighter. And I still think it'll be quite tight, if I'm honest with you. Which brings us on to our next topic. Thinking, are you guys convinced Europe's secured?
I think we're finishing top 4, definitely. I think third's ours to lose, and I think it will be tight. like you're saying, Calvin. But I think we've got enough in us now. Getting that win on Saturday, because our away form's brilliant. Like
Our
That's true,
home
mate.
form just, I don't know.
exactly, Darren. And I think if we can get our home form in order, mate, I think we could have went into this weekend 10 points clear of Aberdeen.
Easy, mate. Easy.
And that's the frustrating part, isn't it? Like we have got I read an article earlier saying that this is almost our best away form ever. And that's nothing to grumble about, because how many there's been loads of folk who have complained about Jack Ross, but he's doing something right if we're winning all these games away from home. But I think third's ours to lose now, and I would be interested to see how it finishes.
You'll get these. I'm gonna put out there so-called fans that even if we do get third, there'll still be fans moaning about Jack Ross.
Aye,
and it's
That's
like,
true.
what more can the guy do? I mean, Celtic and Rangers have got much more bigger budget than us. That's why they're first and second every year.
Aye,
Yeah, I have to agree with you, mate. Like I was saying that last week about Jack Ross, and I've not been his biggest fan just because I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I just felt there was something missing. And do you know what? I think Murray said it well last week. It's like whenever the team's down or something's no going right, I mean, you look over and Ken, he's always standing with his hands in his pockets, looking just a bit bland on the side. Like I like a manager that's a bit passionate, like Lennon. Shouting like that. That's the type of manager I like. I think Lennon was quite a fiery manager, and I think Stubbs. I think you could see that Stubbs was like a real players manager. Like the players enjoyed playing for him. Do you know what I mean? And with Jack Ross, I'm just not sure what type of personality he is for the club. He seems quite closed off in that, just looking from the outside in. But I did defend him last week, mate, because a lot of people were saying the week before. I can't remember who did we lose to the week before the St Johnstone game?
Motherwell.
Motherwell. Aye, he played the team on Motherwell against Motherwell, and a lot of people were calling for changes. Start Nisbet up front, do this, do that, and he made those changes, and he played the team that people were wanting. And unfortunately, they lost away to St Johnstone, but there wasn't much in the match.
That game was kind of a scrappy game.
It was.
It was. So it's kind of hard to sort of think, being anti-Jack Ross or Jack Ross out. I just don't think you can be that at this time, because at the end of the day, who else are you going to get in?
Well, that's the thing, mate. Like he's like, if we get third, he's the only manager since Tony Mowbray to get it, and he deserves a lot of credit, And I think
definitely, mate.
I wanted him out after the St Johnstone game, but I think he's starting to win me back over. Like obviously we had that wee 2-game dip in form, but I mean every team has a dip in form at this time of the season, eh? Like
if you look at Celtic, for instance.
Exactly.
Aye. Do you know what it maybe is for me, guys? See, the thing is, for me, I hate losing games to like Motherwell or St Johnstone or Kilmarnock, teams that around us that we should be beating. And I think in my mind, when I tally it up, for example, we lost 3-0 to Livingston.
Yeah.
We lost 2 or 3-0 to County back in December, I think it was. We've lost to St Johnstone there. We've lost to Motherwell. Like, that annoys me, because there's 12 points we could have had. And if you take those 12 points and add them, we're a point behind Celtic.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And then you think of the other daft games as well.
Even the Celtic game at home, mate, we were 2-0 up.
Well, that's it, mate. We're through that. There's another 2 points. Like,
Dundee United
realistically, Dundee United at home as well.
We could be sitting second, eh?
We could be second if we don't lose silly games like that. And I think it's those games that makes me frustrated with Ross, because I think, I mean, as I said the other week, I was listening to the Hibs Dundee United game on the radio, and I could see it coming.
Oh, aye,
it was Dundee United. It was all Hibs. Dundee United, one chance, 1 goal, 90th minute, and that's 2 points dropped. And it's silly things like that I think this could have been. It's been a good season, but it could have been an immense season.
Very. And then
I think those cup games and that let them down as well. Losing to Hearts. I mean, mind you, I do think we played really well in that game, and I think it just seemed to be one of those games where it was like nothing fell for us. You know,
And
getting the
it was
penalty.
on Nisbet. I mean, he must have had a weight up around the shoulders. I mean, what I think he's trying to do is hit top corner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, unfortunately, hit off the bar. Like Stephen said in his video, Taylor 2 penalties.
100%. Yeah, that was right. That was right, mate.
But and then it was the same against Hearts and Celtic. That could have went anyway.
That's right. I hate when we get beat by a penalty. Like, it's the worst way to lose a game, isn't it? But like, we should have battered Hearts. We should have battered St Johnstone, but we never, and we're still sitting third. So
exactly.
I mean, so it's a good season, eh? Like,
it has been. I think we have to be realistic as well, because when you think about it, Darren, we were saying last week, we've never. I think in Jack Ross's lifetime, he said it was a fact. Like, we've only finished third. Like, was it four times in the last 40 years? Aye.
The last time we finished third was Tony Mowbray's season, so that would have been 2000.
16 years ago, aye.
2005 was the last. Like, and I think
that was a golden generation.
What Stephen was saying last week about redefining our expectations, I think that's a good point. Like,
and if you think about where Jack Ross has took us from,
that's true.
Since Heckingbottom, we were a point behind Hearts in 11th.
Aye, he's done well for us. Like,
I'll say that. Do you know what, Darren? That's actually a very, very good point, mate. And I've actually never thought of that. Like, to think of, because see I know you. I've tried to erase Heckingbottom from my memory. Do you know that? So see, when I think Hibs, I'm just thinking like back to when it was a good time to be a Hibs supporter, when we had Lennon and then Stubbs before. So I've just sort of skipped over the Heckingbottom period, because mind folk were calling them second bottom.
Aye, because we
were second bottom. You know, that was probably the best bit about it. We got a bit of a laugh at it, but that Heckingbottom era, like, you have to remember, like, we were second bottom. Like, we took a massive step backwards. So in terms of Jack Ross coming in and where he's took us, like, you're absolutely right, mate. Like, we'll have to be grateful for it, because he has done a good job when you look at the facts. I mean, the league table doesn't lie in. I mean, we are sitting in third.
Aye.
So
I think we're sitting third on merit.
I mean, we've been I think we've been the third. Like, I know some of our football has been very boring to watch this season, but I think we've been the third best team in the country this year. Maybe even second best, because Celtic haven't played well.
Nah, Celtic haven't played well at all, which is frustrating, because we could be second, as we mentioned.
Obviously, I know this is a Hibs podcast, but what the weird thing was is, mind when Rangers were on the way to win 10 in a row?
Aye.
Celtic, right. Scotland, and Scotland qualified.
There you go. Aye, it's almost like it was meant to happen that Rangers were winning the league this year. But I mean, I think the big thing for every team in the league is no fans has played a massive benefit to some teams. Others, it's not been great. Like, I was saying this to a friend earlier. Like, I wonder if Hibs, if we had fans this season, if Hibs would be still in third. Because how many times when somebody plays a bad pass when we're at 1-1, do the fans just get on their back and just? But like, there's no pressure almost.
No, you're completely right. A lot of it will be like training games and that, and I think that's why, like, all over the country, like in England as well, like, you've seen such big score lines. Like, for example, like Villa beating Liverpool, was it 7-2 or something like that?
7-2, aye,
and it's like, you know, it's more like a training match. There's no fans, but
it does feel, when you're watching it, it feels like a training match. It's horrendous.
I try and get a bit of atmosphere. Like, I put sports sound on my and listen to it on my through the headphones while I'm watching the game live, just to try and get a bit of atmosphere.
But I mean, it's been a good season, and I think the big thing now is how do we follow up this weekend, eh?
That's right, aye. So we're on to Livingston this weekend, boys, as we were talking about earlier. Livingston, they've had a cracking season. They're sitting in 5th place on 43 points. They're just 6 behind Aberdeen. So they're in the top 6, secured top 6 position. 2 previous meetings this season, We got off to an absolute flyer away from home and we beat them 4-1. That's when we found out Kevin Nisbet was a good player. He scored his hat-trick.
That's right.
And then we done a typical Hibs in January when we got beat 3-0 off them. Got absolutely gubbed at home.
Aye.
So we're up against them again this weekend. What's the predictions? Let's get some score predictions on the board.
I think I'd be happy with 1-1, to be honest.
3-0.
3-0, Darren.
Yep.
I like
3-0
it.
Hibs.
I like the confidence, mate. I think
3-0 Hibs. Nisbet to score first.
Nice.
that's a good one.
I think Martindale's lost it a wee bit there. I think they've not been great their last couple of games. You know, they've no. I think they've won once in the last 5. I'm going to go 2-0 Hibs. Doidge. I'm just going to vote for Doidge every time because he's due as a goal.
Mate, well, you'll get it right one week.
Aye, maybe aye. No, but, well, what's 1-1, Charlie?
I think. I mean, last week I predicted we'd get gubbed and
That's
we won.
it, mate.
So if I predict against Hibs, we usually do all right. But nah, I think Livingston's a hard place to go. I mean, we did hammer them last time, But they're also 6 behind Aberdeen, so they'll be looking to win. We'll be looking to push. So I think I'd be honestly, I'd take a draw now if you offered me it.
Mate, I think Livingston have peaked this season.
I think so too.
They've made the top 6, which, to be honest, if you asked me to drop the top 6 of the SPL at the start of the year, I wouldn't have included Livingston.
Nah, you're right.
I'd had them on the cusp, or maybe like 8th, something like that. And they got to their cup final and they lost it. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like that's been a good year for them. Like 5th in the league,
cup final
as well. I mean, can't really ask for much more on their behalf. So I think they've not really got that much more to play for.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, even if they finish 6th behind, whoever it's going to be, St Johnstone or St Mirren. I hope it's St Mirren.
I hope so.
It's still been a cracking season for them. It's a bit unrealistic for them to go for 4th or anything. So I just feel like, they might take the foot off the gas a wee bit, and I think Hibs will have enough. I think Hibs will really push on for here and hopefully finish strong, because there'll be a lot of boys, Nisbet will probably be buzzing that he's going to the Scotland team, so he'll just be want to get on the pitch and play football. And
I mean that could play into our favour the way like Nisbet's just been called up. He'll be wanting to prove a point. And I think we do have it in us to win this weekend. Like I think 1-1's probably a safe bet because I think they'll score and I think we'll score. But I definitely think that we'll come here happy next week.
But we're away from home as well, which is a good sign.
That's
Darren? We might get a win.
We might.
So is there any players in there's quite a few ex-Hibees that play for Livingston, quite a few.
True.
Bartley,
Ambrose.
Anyone else that you can think of just off the top of your head? I think that's it.
I can only think of those two.
I can only think of they two as well.
I think that's it. Two guys that, if I'm honest with you, I would have loved to have stayed with Hibs.
Aye, very much so.
Bartley specifically, because you were saying earlier, Darren, that we need a holding midfielder.
And that's what Bartley was.
Exactly. I think that was probably one of the biggest mistakes that Hibs made.
And I think if you look at the midfield that we had back in 2017 or the 18-19 season, when we had, obviously I know we still got Alan, but we had the likes of John McGinn and Dylan McGeoch. That was some midfield.
That was a brilliant midfield, mate. And I think, do you know what? I think that might have been the thing that sort of just pushed Bartley out the door, because you're looking at it and you're thinking, where does he fit in when we've got Allen, McGeoch and McGinn? But, when you are playing Hearts or something like that, you are wanting, McGinn and Bartley, that's strong midfield. But we've sort of replaced them with Gogic, so it'll be interesting to see how they
Bartley went through Hearts.
Bartley, I think Bartley understood the club culture in a derby. And more than I've ever seen a player in a long time that would just get up for it. Like him, Darren McGregor's another one who I think, because McGregor's a Hibee, he understands it, but they two were like, Hanlon. And so does Hanlon. You're right, Darren, and I think Stevenson as well, and there was a few others that understood it. But I think I'd take Bartley.
Bartley did not care who it was that he took out.
No.
Exactly. He was deleted even when he scored for Livingston. He was delighted against Hearts. He was absolutely delighted. So he's definitely a Hibee. Like, but we'll have to realise, guys, this is going to be a derby at the weekend.
It's true.
It's going to be our derby.
There's no other teams for Edinburgh in the league this year, so
no, derby day.
While we come.
Oh well.
Exactly.
Hopefully there's no another one in the league next year either, but it looks like they're coming back up.
I do think we do miss the Edinburgh derbies.
I'm not missing it at all because I hate them so much. But
I know.
Why do you think my first words were Hearts or shit?
That's right.
I know, but no, I've not missed them at all. I can't stand their fans on Derby Day. So,
Livingston, they probably can't stand themselves.
Oh, I know. Livingston, it's Derby. Let's go and win it. Hopefully.
Will be interesting. As I said, we're one apiece now. We've won one, lost one, so we'll see. Is there any players in their team that you're quite interested to watch that you think might cause us a bit of bother? Bartley. Well, hopefully they play him left wing back again.
Aye.
Remember they done that in the cup final and it seemed to sort of muck them up. So
Martin Boyle play him left back in the changing room.
Well,
that would work in our favour, I think. Aye.
Martindale had some strange selections, eh? I think Bartley's a big one to watch. I think Emmanuel Thomas up front as well. He throws himself about there, so it'll be interesting to see.
Sybil's all right as well. In midfield and that. So
they've got a good team. Falkirk boy.
That's right.
It is, mate. He was good for Falkirk in that championship.
Scott Robinson does a job too. He'll if he's playing, he'll be up for it because he used to play for Hearts. So. Like we were saying last week, Calvin, if you play for Hearts, you get told one thing: do not lose to Hibs. So
I know, but let's just hope he's. Let's just hope that doesn't happen.
Just goes right through him.
What do you think the team will be this week, guys? You want to name your starting 11?
I'll go first.
On you go,
then, mate.
Right, so Marciano, McGinn right back.
Right.
McGregor.
Okay.
Hanlon. I want to say Louis.
Oh, I thought you might have.
No, not because it's a big game.
Aye.
Right.
Midfield. I'm trying to think. Gogic.
Right.
Hopefully, maybe Alan.
Yeah, it'd be good to see him back.
Trying who else?
Thinking Cadden on the wings, maybe?
Yeah.
Boyle.
Cadden and... Who's the other winger that we've got? Boyle.
Aye.
Murphy sometimes. Would he make a return?
I hope so.
Maybe put Murphy in midfield.
Mm-hmm.
With Alan, Murphy and Gogic.
Are you going to go two up top?
Yep. Obviously Nisbet and
Dodge, aye.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them get a run together. I think that's when Hibs play... I think Hibs are one of the only teams in the country that play two up top. Do you know that?
One of them.
One of them.
One of very few. Credit for it.
Is it your idea?
Well, when I met Jack Ross, before I interviewed Daz, I said play two up top.
Oh,
so
there you go then.
There's an
there
exclusive.
You go then, mate. That's a good one. I'm going to add a wee segment in here about Marciano. Marciano's leaving. Now, I read an article a couple of weeks ago and I posted it out on the Hibs
I remember
page
seeing
because
that.
It was by the Sun. Was it by the Sun or the Record or something like that? And I thought it'll be nonsense if it's by them. It was I think it was even the news actually. I read it, and when I read the article, it actually said that Rocky was happy with life at Hibs. He was enjoying it. He was happy with his football. He felt that maybe he could one day play at a higher level. So he maybe felt like he could play in the English Premiership. And that he was focusing on finishing third. He didn't feel like he was ready to go home to Israel yet. and the article just said that Celtic was monitoring his progress. So I thought, well, sounds like they're just writing an article for something to write about.
Aye.
And sounds like he's staying, but no, it's almost been confirmed that he's leaving. This is his last year. I was absolutely gutted, mate. I was on the Hibs website the other night, and I almost bought the pink goalie top. I'm honestly gutted he's leaving. Seriously, I'm like,
I read
why don't you just buy the goalie top, get Marciano and just frame it?
Aye.
well, I was thinking about buying it, mate, because I don't know, he's been one of my most favourite players, to be honest with you. He sort of flies under the radar because, you know, a lot of the good, we've got some good footballers in the team, like, you know, Alan, Nisbet, McGinn in the past.
That he's made.
Oh, some of them.
The one at Easter Road against Hearts.
Aye. He's made so many good saves, but one of the things as well is when you think back to some of the goalies we've had, like, been horrendous. It's been one of our weakest positions for so long, but he's been an absolute cat in goals. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
He's been a rock. He's been really, really good. I'll be really sad to see him go. Who you got to say?
Conrad. That's the one.
Oh, Conrad. Well, Conrad was amazing, but they let him go. But he was awesome.
When I first saw him, I was like, who is this guy?
I remember he walked out for training at Hampden against United. I'm like, oh no, we've lost this already. Like he was the size of a house, man. But he flung himself about that goal. Like, but
have you seen the Jason Cummins interview when Cummins said that the first day he showed up at training, Jason Cummins thought he was a chef. He thought Conrad Logan was a chef, but now he was a goalie.
He was a cracking keeper, wasn't he?
It was good. It was good when they had that meme going around, and it was the Ken the Incredibles, Mr. Incredibles, and he had Dash as laddie on his shoulders, and folk were saying it was Cummins and Logan. That was a good laugh.
But trust Cummins to mention that.
Oh,
nah, he's a dafty. I'd have liked to. I say I would have liked to have had Cummins back, but I'm not really that much for giving folks second chances at Hibs, because they just use them as a stepping stone. But thinking about the goalies, I mean, I grew up with some scary, scary goalies in goal, man. Like, Hibee comes to mind, Malkowski. That was just...
Makalambi and all
Darren, get me started on him.
Chelsea Youth Academy as well, Makalambi.
I said to my dad, see, when he thought about it, he was useless. But when he didn't think about it, it was good.
Right, that's it.
Daniel Anderson, he was a good keeper.
I think
Anderson was a good goalie.
Before Marciano, I think he's been our best keeper in about 20 years. Anderson.
Yeah, Ben Williams was good.
Ben Williams was good. You're right.
Ben Williams was a good goalie in a bad team. Like
Graham Stack was all right sometimes.
Stack was all right, but he was a bit.
That header he done against Hearts.
Aye. Did he know?
The ground.
Did he know join the Celtic huddle one time as well?
He did as well. Aye.
He was a bam. He's a bam, that guy.
But Graham Stack is another one that he's got a season ticket at Easter Road now, eh? Like
he?
I think I read that. He comes up as often as he can, and he loves the club, eh? Like, I think
he did, aye.
We've not really had a good keeper for ages, eh? It will be sad to see Rocky leave, like.
Very sad, mate. I hope he doesn't go to Celtic.
Just buy a Rocky bar.
I could do, aye.
Who do we replace him with now? That's the question.
We need a keeper that's in and around his ability.
Aye. I don't think Matt Macy put a foot wrong in the two games they played for us.
No, he's not. I just think Marciano's obviously the better keeper.
Aye, of course.
I think so.
I think the thing is with Marciano, like it was Lennon that spotted him, was it no?
Aye. That was one of Lennon's better signings.
He's got a great eye for a player, Lennon, and I just think that for Marciano, like, especially when was the last time we had an international goalkeeper?
Pass.
I don't even know, eh?
Nick Colgan, maybe.
But potentially.
Daniel Anderson.
So it's quite, I mean, I think seriously underrated, like, and I think this is probably the first time looking back that in recent years we've been able to look at a goalie and think that's probably one of the reasons we're in third. Like he's definitely won us some points this year.
I was listening to Long Bangers on Saturday after the game, and some of the boys on that were saying you can single-handedly point out the games that we've won.
Oh, were they saying that?
We've got points because of Rocky. And it's I don't think there's another keeper that will replace him in the same way.
Nah. I think he's been awesome, mate. And I think Matt Macy. The thing that scares me with Matt Macy is, mind you, I've not seen much of him, but
he's flipping huge.
Well, he's huge, but we've had big goalies in the past, and it's like,
Aye.
I don't know if any of you can remember. I want to get his name right. I think it was like Morton Hargland or something.
Oh, Morton
Mind you,
Hargland, I mind him.
I was only about 5 at the time, so or 6 or something. So I'm not actually. What was it, Hargland or something like that? I'm googling it now, but he was a giant.
Big keeper that we had.
Well, Makalambi was massive.
Aye, but he was just
hopeless and all though.
He was hopeless. Aye.
You know what my dad called him? Calamity.
That's what my dad called him as well, Macalamity, because that was what he was. But I think like you are saying, boys, I think we do need another keeper that's of Rocky's quality.
I've got a question for you.
Go on then.
Can you remember a little boy with a blue top on against Irving Meadows going on the pitch?
I don't know if I was at that game.
No, mate, I'm lost.
Yogi Hughes took a wee boy on the pitch. He fell over the advertising board and he took me up to the centre circle.
Was it you?
You? Right. No, I don't remember that.
I wasn't at that game.
I asked John Hughes, how do you get involved with the training? Like the young. So he told my dad to lift me over. I had boots on because it was snowing. Now, I tried to jump over the board. I kind of slipped and fell. And now I went up and I took me to the centre circle.
That's quality. I'm
surprised you weren't on Soccer AM. Remember Soccer AM used to do the outtakes when it was, what were they called again? It's been a long day. I can't even mind.
Wanted me for life.
Aye, you should have been on that, Darren. I'm going to find that video and send it to them. Bloopers.
Aye.
But I think we can also we're gutted Rocky's leaving, and to be honest with you, I never seen it coming, eh?
Nah.
Completely to left field, never seen it coming.
I'm not sure I agree with him though that he can play at a higher level. I just think what is he, 31?
To be honest with you, I don't know.
I think he's pushing like, and I think he's hit his peak. I think if he's going to go down to England,
Alan McGregor.
I mean, Alan McGregor, he's 39 and he's still kicking about, but
he's 31, so
I just don't think an English team, maybe a championship team down south will pick him up, but I just can't see your bottom half of the tables, like who's down that Sheffield United. I don't think they'll pick him up.
Do you think he'll go to Celtic? It's quite heavily rumoured.
Lennon's left now, eh?
He's better than what they've got.
I was going to say Lennon liked him, but Lennon's left. I mean, I think if depends who Celtic get as their next manager, to be honest. Because if the rumours are true that they want to look at Jack Ross, then Jack Ross might take a few boys with him. But
I think
I think Jack Ross would put all this effort into the Hibs team. Then
I agree. I don't think he will go.
I think they'll look for a bigger name than Jack Ross as well. I think they'll try and get Eddie Howe or something like that.
Eddie Howe's been
Roy
Keane wants it apparently. He'd be a massive risk. But...
Right, well, we move on a wee bit then, guys. Keeping Marciano and Israel in mind, that's one of the teams Scotland's going to be facing with Nisbet up front. So Nisbet is going to be facing Marciano potentially for Scotland versus Israel. Australia and the Faroe Islands. So did any is, if you're listening to the podcast the last couple of weeks, we didn't think he was going to make it. I thought it was too late. I thought he shot himself in the foot a wee bit when, he handed in the transfer request and he was out for a number of weeks. I didn't think they'd pick him, eh? I thought they'd just go with Shanklin, McBurney, and, I thought he'd miss out. So I'm absolutely delighted they managed to get in, and hopefully, that gets him going again and kick starts his Hibs career again. And
I mean, good on him. Like, he deserves it. I mean,
does deserve it, mate.
I mean, I know he had that bad run of form, or what I respected a lot what he said in his interview, that he says that people only see 2% of what goes on.
That's true. That's so true.
And I think that gave me a wee reality check. Like, actually, there's more to this than what we think.
Aye, definitely.
And I read Jack Ross's article the other day saying that he kept him in Port Jesuit because the team was winning. So I mean, it makes sense, and I was delighted he scored. But like you say, I thought it was too late. I didn't think he would get in, but buzzing he's in, like, and hope he gets a game. Again, how many Hibs players have you seen that get called up and never play?
Too many, mate. Too many.
I mean, like he said in his interview that he wants to be at Hibs.
Aye,
that was good of him.
Aye, it was good to see him come out and do an interview because I wasn't expecting him to do it. But I mean, he scored the winning goal, so that was pretty expected. But he spoke really well, like.
And it was nice. I don't know if you heard that. It was a nice wee touch as well. One of the last conversations he said he had with his dad, that was he managed to get him to get himself on the Scotland team, and he's done it. So that must be good, and it's been an ambition of his as well. Because to be honest with you, when he first came into he came on a lot, because when he first came onto the scene at Hibs, you know, he was coming from Dunfermline, so you're thinking, you know, it might take him a season or two to sort of get going. And he's young as well.
He is still young, aye. Like, I mean, I watched the highlights of the 4-1 game against Livy just before we came on here, and just I was watching, mainly focusing on Nisbet because he scored the hat-trick that day, and just he had a spring in his step. I think that was the game that he had something to prove, and I think scoring last week, I think he's got something to prove again, especially to Steve Clarke. Because let's be real, he's better than McBurney. At least I think he's better than McBurney, but McBurney went for 20 million.
It's a strange one, McBurney. Strange.
But at least Scotland haven't really had a proper goal scorer since Kenny Miller and Boyd.
That's right, you're right, mate. You're right. But I think it's good for Hibs as well, because I think Hibs need, you know, international players to sort of be up to the top end of the table. Do you know what I mean? To be up at third position. You know, we've got Rocky and goals now anyway. Porteous is in and amongst the squad, in and out the Scotland squad.
Aye.
We've got Jackson Irvine, we've got Martin Boyle, we've now got Nisbet.
Gogic as well.
Gogic.
Hanlon's been.
Aye.
Doidge was on the cusp of Wales, I felt.
Doidge was on the cusp, but surely he should be getting a look in there. Yeah,
I don't know who's that, Ryan Giggs or whoever their manager, what's he looking at? Because it must not be Doidge. When Doidge
must be looking through tinted glasses, mate.
Because me and Calvin, we had a conversation yesterday about, what does Steve Clarke actually see to leave a player like Shankland, who's in form, out of that squad and play McBurney, who's scored 2 goals all season?
I don't know
I think some international managers just pick the players they always pick.
A sense of loyalty, or sort of, eh? But what I was thinking we'll do, guys, see when it comes down to the Euros, be good to just keep this Strong Opinion podcast going. We'll just change it to Strong Opinion Scotland.
Aye, for the
Euro campaign, aye.
For the 3 games we're there.
Watch along.
That could be good, mate. Yeah. Aye. So that's a wee segment of Marciano. I think, honestly, in terms of we go off topic a heck of a lot, eh?
It's good.
it's just having a conversation, eh?
Podcasts kind of do that.
It's good.
That's true. That's true. As I say, we're just having a conversation with mates, eh? But honestly, I'm not sure who I'd replace him with. It's probably going to be Matt Macy.
I think Matt Macy.
They've obviously done a wee bit of research on him, because I never knew who he was before he came to the club. And
I'd seen him play once for Arsenal before, and he looked all right. But I thought
Arsenal fans have bigged him up. I
thought he would have been on a lot more wages than what we are gaining him. You know.
Like, what's he on? I have no idea.
He's on less than, he must be on about $5,000 a week. But playing in the Premier League, I thought he would have been on about $20,000 a week.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but he'll not get a sniff at Arsenal, so
at least he's getting money.
Aye, I mean, he obviously wants to play football, so
you're absolutely right.
Hence why he's at Hibs.
So that's us sort of just coming towards the end of the podcast now, guys. We're going to move into the last wee section, looking at the listener questions. We've had a few questions come through.
A few beauties this week.
A few beauties. One of the questions from Andy Rogers, one of your mates, Charlie's, came through, and his question to us is, that win against Ross County, was that our most important win of the season?
Yes.
I'd agree.
Yeah. I think it's definitely one of the most important, because I think if they'd lost that game,
I think
a lot of questions would have been asked.
The season goes to pot if we lose there on Saturday there.
Aye.
I think three defeats in a row, the confidence goes.
I think you're right. I think it was a good time to win.
I think it's a toss-up between that and Aberdeen, though. Aberdeen at home, that was a massive win.
Aberdeen was an important one as well, yeah.
I think, it's a good question for Andy there.
We've got one as well. Another one from Andy. Another question is that Marciano's leaving. Do we give Macy the remainder of the games to see if he's up to the challenge?
Yeah.
I'd say no.
I'm going to say no as well. Yeah, I think we've got to play our strongest team, and I think Rocky deserves a good send off because he's been part of the campaign that's got us to third. I think he deserves to finish it, and I think maybe give Macy a chance in pre-season and that if he fancies it. So
I do think though, if Jack Ross is wanting to keep Macy, probably should give him a game. But
they give him a game until maybe the last game.
Till third's confirmed, then who really cares?
Because that split's going to be difficult.
There's no point chopping and changing a winning side. And I think that was our biggest downfall for the two we lost, is we changed the winning team. So I'm not sure if I would give Macy a run of games.
No, I'd keep him out there now.
Macy a game, but only until thirds.
Aye, I agree, Darren.
I just think I'd play him pre-season in that next year. I don't think I'd have him in and around the team at all this year.
Aye.
Just because, you've got... It's strange that Marciano's leaving as well, because does he not fancy a shot at Europe? I
know. That's the big one, because we could get group stages.
Right, Darren.
Is he not happy with Hibs?
Well, listen, I'm going to propose a question to you. We need to get you to get in contact with Hibs to see if you can get an interview with Rocky before he leaves. And try and get him to stay. What do you think of that?
Oh, see what I can do.
You see what you can do? I think you should, mate. I think you definitely should.
I agree.
I think that would be good, mate, because I think we maybe need him.
Aye.
A few other questions have came in here. One from Jack Gillies. Did Boyle cheat on Saturday to win that penalty?
Nah.
I didn't like the word cheat, but
I think it was
soft.
It's one of the softest penalties you'll see all season. But it's a penalty. it's a penalty at the end of the day. The defender can't throw himself about in the box.
The thing is, Boyle just went and he's made contact regardless.
Aye, if you make contact and the boy goes down, it's a penalty.
He's not notorious for diving either. He's not very well known for that at all, is he? So we'll say no. We'll say no.
On the basis.
I think it was a stone waller, eh?
I think it's a soft one, but it's a penalty.
It was very, very soft. And we've got the last question was, I was racking my brain. I couldn't even think of three players, three Englishmen that had played for Hibs. We've got one from Alistair Taylor coming in on Twitter.
Oh, is that the boy from Northern Ireland?
It's the boy from Northern Ireland, aye. I think it's County Antrim, aye. So
still listening in. Good lad.
The podcast always went over shores, Darren, so we're delighted about that. But he's asking us, what's the best three Englishmen ever to play for Hibs, to play for the club? Your top three Englishmen. Number one for me is, in my lifetime, I know Joe Baker
would be one for me, but I never seen him.
I never seen him play, but I know a lot of the older guys that listen will probably raging with us in the choices that we make, because I can only go with my lifetime.
What was that, mate?
Wasn't Graham Stack English?
Graham Stack was.
He was English, mate, right? And I was Googling this earlier because I was thinking... I
had to Google it as well.
Stack. See on his Wikipedia page, apparently it comes up that he's Republic of Ireland.
I think he was born there, but I think he played for England nationally. But I had to rack my brains a lot for this question.
But I would say David Murphy, for me, he was a minted left back, like when Hibs were, that sort of 2016, 2007 team.
Aye.
He was minted there, like. I can. He was. It's been a long day. I've been at work in that the day, so I'm absolutely knackered.
You've had a sleep
and a cat nap as well. Before. And I came on and you could see my hair was all a mess, and you were picking me up for it, Darren. So I appreciate it, mate. Can you add anyone to the list, Darren? Is there anyone you can think of, or? There's been some great ones like Tom Soares.
Soares.
Terrible, man. It'd be some shit. It's been a lot of bad ones. Yeah, I was looking through the old team and
Mine like Isaiah Osborne as well.
Oh,
and, oh my
Tom-
goodness.
What
Tom
about,
Tayo English.
Tom Tayo.
Claros, English, no.
No, he was for Honduras.
Claros was a good wee player. I like Claros.
I wish he was English because I could have added him to the list.
Aye. Oh, there's been some honkers. I could give you 3 stinkers that were English
Aye.
that played for Hibs, but good
I'd-
ones I'm struggling. Hogg,
Hogg, Rob Jones,
always believe in.
Joe Newell.
Jones. No, Neil's good, aye.
Apart from that,
Was good.
they're all crap. Like
Oh, there's been a lot of crap ones, mate.
Rowan Vine was English, James Collins was English. They're guff.
Fontaine was good.
Fontaine.
One Vine was good. Was it no when he scored against Aberdeen?
I didn't think did Rowan Vine score for
I didn't
us?
think he scored for Hibs, mate.
No, Rowan Vine. I'm thinking about who was that guy that scored against Aberdeen in the cup?
Oh, Gary Deegan.
Aye, that's what I was thinking.
That was a peach.
Oh.
Brandon Barker's English. They went to go join Rangers.
Didn't rate him at all.
Did you know? I thought
Nah.
Barker was good.
He was
He-
all right, but then his form kind of dipped.
My big
But-
thing with Barker
Aye.
was he got past the last defender and he crapped himself.
Bartley,
Aye, Marvin Bartley, there you are.
tremendous. Bartley,
another
he's
one.
got to be up there. Aye.
That's I think there's no apart from that. Ben
We've had
Williams,
some bad ones.
some
Aye.
shockers.
3 stinkers, man.
Josh Vela, he was crap.
Oh, what? Who signed him again? Was that Hickey?
Paul Heckenbottom, mate. Chris Maxwell, there's another Hickey field example.
To be fair though, Hickey signed some players, and like it was only when he left that they started to become good, like Joe Newell,
Joe
and
Newell,
you know
Doige.
Doige as well. So straight-
Omiyonga, did Hickey sign Omiyonga?
No.
No. It was
I'm not
before-
sure, mate.
was
Was
like
he
that.
no there when Neil Lennon was there?
I think he just joined as Lennon left actually.
Aye,
But there's been some crackers, some bad ones too.
aye, that was that. That's the questions anyway. That was a really tough question though, but I like that one. Like, got me
That
thinking.
was a beauty, aye.
But aye, oh, well, it's good that we're able to laugh at some of the bad ones, eh?
Aye.
But right, coming on to the last bit then, Darren, you've got some news you'd like to tell everyone, some news you'd like to break. So I'll hand over to you to finish us up.
Right, so end of July, beginning of August, I am going to be releasing merchandise. There's going to be t-shirts and hoodies. So obviously, once the website's up and running, I will fire the link to all my social media platforms. If you do want to buy it. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to help myself, but also the channel out, it'd be really much appreciated.
Aye, definitely, mate. And what was some of the prices and the designs in that you're working on at the moment? You were telling us. How much were you going to?
The prices for the t-shirt, I might make them between 10 and 15 pounds.
Aye, I think that's reasonable, mate. I think they'll sell.
And for the hoodie, between 20 and 25.
I think that's
Aye.
all right, aye.
I am thinking of down the sleeve, dream big or on the back, and a few other designs that I'm still working on.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. I'm glad you've decided to come on here and share that news. That's really good. Well, Darren, thanks very much for coming on, mate. We've really enjoyed having you. You're actually been trying to get you on for a wee while. Messaged you just back when the podcast first started and that, you know. So we're really glad that you managed to take the time and come on today and just share your thoughts and have a chat with us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to come on anytime. I mean, it's kind of weird that you ask me questions instead of vice versa. So it's,
Aye.
I mean, I enjoy it that way as well.
Good, mate. I'm glad you've enjoyed it, and we'd be absolutely delighted to have you on again sometime in the future if you'd be interested.
Well, of course, just whenever you want me. Maybe you don't want me back. I don't know.
No, not at all, mate. Not at all, mate. You've been brand new, so we're delighted, and Aye, thanks very much. Here's a wee question for you just to finish up, Darren. Have you got any interviews lined up in the coming couple of months or weeks? Is there anyone you're chatting to? Or, right, go with that question, then I've got another one to ask you after it just to finish off. It's a cracker, the last one.
Not yet.
Not yet? Right, okay. If you could interview anyone, you know, who would you want to interview? One person, one football player, who would it be? Hibs, past or present, or it could be international, global football.
Either John McGinn.
Oh, yes.
Or Andy Robertson.
Quality.
Andy Robertson, we need to make the McGinn one happen, mate.
Hi.
That would be amazing.
I need today's contact Aston Villa.
What you could do, Darren, is get John Paul and Stephen McGinn all at the same time. Get them
exactly, aye.
McGinn trio that played for Hibs.
Well, I could try that.
There you go.
Aye, that would be good, mate.
It'd be very
perfect.
Aye, it would.
But they've all played for St Mirren
and
they've all came to Hibs.
Aye.
Aye.
I can't see Paul and Stephen going to Aston Villa though, eh?
No.
No, maybe not.
But like,
have they all played for Scotland? Paul hasn't.
Paul hasn't. Paul and John have been
has.
in the squad. Paul was in the squad once. Stephen's not been up there yet.
No, not international level. No.
Didn't think he'll get there either. But
no. Well, he joined Montrose. Was it Montrose he joined? No,
Morton.
That's it.
But that's probably to get experience in game time.
I think he just wants to play football, eh? But no, as I said, mate, thanks for coming on. That's us coming to the end of the podcast. So it's been a good one, guys. And for the listeners, we'll be on next week. We'll get back on next week just to review the Livingston game and then look towards the last game before the split. And we are playing Hamilton, which will be a dogfight as well. So we'll see how that goes.
We'll have another wee guest next week. I've been chatting to somebody today about getting on next week, Calvin. So another guest.
No, wait. This is the last game before the split.
Sorry,
Livingston, I'm talking rubbish.
We played Hamilton a few weeks back. Sorry.
Anyway,
that's a good ending. That's a good ending.
Honestly, the folk listening. The folk.
It's a split, isn't it?
You're right.
It's a split. Right.
Well, there we are.
I didn't want this to end. I want to keep on going. But no, it's been good, boys, and we'll catch up some other time. And Darren, as I said, mate, we'll hopefully have you on again soon, and we'll fire you an email and sort that out if you're happy with that. All right.
I'm not at all, mate.
All right. Cheers, boys. Cheers.
And he told me